Hey everyone, it's Yolandie Olech here. I'm back with a full real-time tutorial video how to do a heart-shaped vintage piping decorating cake. Now mind my voice please and my accent. For those of you that doesn't know, I'm from South Africa and I am Afrikaans speaking, so my English won't be perfect, but if you do need to know something, just drop your questions in the comments and I'll help you with that. As I just mentioned, we are doing a real-time cake decorating heart-shaped cake. Now, you might look at this video and say, oh, Yolandie, I think you've uploaded the wrong video. But no, I do all of my heart shapes starting with a round tin. The reason for that is I used to buy all the tins on the market and it's just silly because there's so much you can do with heart shape, square shape, and rectangular already. So this just you using a 20 centimeter cake that's a vanilla cake with 3 layers. Now, the first thing I want you to notice is that I've turned my turntable to the front, and you can see that the cake is more to the right side than to the left. There's a little space open. Reason for that is we are going to cut the corners of the cake. You'll see me do that in a minute. Right now, we're just placing our filling and doing a crumb coating of the cake. So I am placing my vanilla frosting all around the cake. You can do this whichever way works for you, giving a little wall on the second layer and the first that you saw me do earlier, and then giving my filling a place to rest in. Now this filling today is caramel, a thick glossy caramel. You can buy this or you can make this at home. I actually use both methods depending on the time I have. Totally up to you and your taste, of course. And then I'm taking Lotus or Biscoff cookies and I'm crushing them up and putting them onto the filling. Now I don't make it too fine because when I cut into this cake and I bite into it, I really want to taste that crunch. And the spread I'm putting on is also Lotus and Biscoff flavor. It's just an ice cream spread and not the spread that you will find. Now you see me pointing out, I place my hands like a little, what is that, angle at the bottom, and then I just work out to myself because I need to put bubble tea straws in as I am going to travel this cake. I love using dowels in my cake. 3 always for my 20 centimeters just to keep my cake together, especially with large fillings like this. I don't want those layers to slide off each other. So I've put sadly my phone went off when I was recording this, but what I then did, I marked out the places where I will cut, as you will see me do in a second. And then I placed them a little bit more to the top, the dowels. Right now I'm just crumb coating and evening it out. It doesn't have to be perfect. There's going to come another layer onto it. Now I'm taking my cake to the fridge. I want it to be ice cold when I put on the second layer. And not just for my second layer, also because right now we are going to measure out. I'm getting my really long ass knife and just marking out the squares right in the middle and right in the middle again, because that is going to be my barrier where I cut. So one of these corners are going to come off, as you will see me do, and this is why I need a really cold cake to work with, because I don't want those layers to fall out and those crumbs to be too much all over the place. Look at that fillings. Oof, this was a delicious cake. So I'm taking that quarter that I took and I'm placing it right next to it on the second quarter, putting a little frosting and then evening it out. And already you can see that shape coming in. You get an idea of this is going to be a heart cake, right? Then I'm going to do exactly the same on the other side and cutting it off and then placing it again on the other quarter we have there. All right, so that's going in right there, and again using my frosting just to put, or almost using it as a glue. And now you can really see our heart shape coming together. Now in the past I used to just decorate it right the way it is there. All right, I put on my final layer of frosting, put another crumb coat here at the front, but these days I've decided to cut in an extra piece. As you will see me do there, I'm going to cut out another piece. And trust me, it just brings that heart shape you want just perfectly out. You will see it come together later perfectly. All right, now we need to crumb coat those bits and parts that are open. Again, I do not want that crumbs to be in my final layer. This must be a smooth white cake, because the little flowers that we put on top is going to stand out. And there I am showing you exactly how beautiful that heart shape is coming out. All right, so we really didn't waste any cake except for that little piece in the middle that will give you a little taste of what the cake is, and then just smoothing out. Now, in a second, you will see me bring out, or maybe you saw that already, this cake was done a few weeks ago, but that little silver flask you see on the left, I use that to put in hot boiling water. I always have my hot boiling water next to me, and then I put my spatulas inside the hot boiling water, and it helps me with the cake tremendously. Okay, so with a normal round shape or square shaped cakes, you will always see me use a cake disc, acrylic cake disc that I have on my website available, that I put on. I haven't received my heart shaped yet, because it's a little bit tricky to get that side. Oh, there we go. We have our flask. It's actually just a coffee flask I got from someone over Christmas, but it became part of the baking. I even have my name on it and everything. So as you can see, the spatulas I'm using now are so hot, it evens out that frosting so much. It really helps. So if you have something large that you can put the boiling water in, please, if you are working with kids, do not have that boiling water close to them. I myself tip it over sometimes, so you do not want your kids around that at all. But when I'm decorating a cake like this and need my frosting to be smoothed out as much as I can without using my cake disc or cake scrapers, that is exactly what I would do to help me there. Once again, we took that cake and I placed it in my fridge and my freezer. So this will also give you a little time. Always leave yourself enough time to decorate and to bake, and even do it on separate days, so you don't have to rush this. You want your cake to be as perfect as you are capable of. Remember, no one is perfect, and there are so many levels of expertise outside there. You cannot compare yourself, but you can always work to something better. So if you have enough time and you don't have to rush this, just taking your time with cakes just really brings out the calm and the relaxing side in me. I love doing this. It makes me so happy. And that's where I also did the healing cake classes at some point, taking a step in between the baking and the decorating, breathing, and just taking a moment to enjoy what you are doing. You are using your God-given talent, your hands, and it's such a blessing to be able to bake a cake for friends and family and see their faces light up when you bring that cake out. So I really do take my time when I do this, because rushing, it just takes away all of that joy. Now, yet again, we're putting on the final layer. I'm using my small and large spatulas to even it out as much as I can. I'm not too worried to do this perfect, because it's not going to be a naked cake where that top frosting is going to be seen. I'm putting up so much vintage decorating around that all of those bits and pieces that aren't perfect will actually just blend in as well. So don't worry too much about it, but take your time to just enjoy what you're doing. Take a moment in being there, noticing where you are, what you feel like when you do this in the calmness. It's really something relaxing. It should be relaxing. If you are a baker that you bake at home, for clients, I do get, especially being a part-time one, since I know what that is like, time is of the essence. So you don't always have that calm, but just making sure you plan ahead to have that calm makes the world of difference in how you decorate your cakes. Now, right now, I'm just using the old French nozzle, the one with the lot of little spikes at the front. If you don't know what that is, just let me know in the comments below and I'll show you a picture. And just slowly going around my cake, twirling. Now, I start from the beginning where I go around the corners, and then again, I don't follow the whole cake around. Somehow I just realized that makes the look of the cake so much better. All right. So again, this look might not be for you, and that's perfectly okay if you don't like the decorating. We all have different tastes, different color preferences, different ideas, and that's what it makes so special. The decorating world is endless with possibilities. Now I'm using that same nozzle just to pipe little dots around, where that would kind of be my beacon where I do the next step. Now, I wish I had two cameras to show you all the angles here. Sadly, I don't, but bear with me. You do get around to seeing what I'm doing there. Okay, so I've placed the dots, and now I've moved over to a open nozzle, just a round open one. Now you're probably thinking, okay, why the hell are you not just doing this with your normal piping bag and cutting a piece out at the front? I've noticed that that piece doesn't give me that round shape that I want, but just like it's almost got a little bit of a pointy side that I don't like. So even though it's round and there's no ruffles or anything on this piping nozzle, I do like just using that. Now, I am definitely not very good with piping those little, what are those, rings or that's laying at the bottom there. I've seen the bakers out there do it flawlessly. Guys, I envy you at that, because mine is always crooked. But I have to say, even though I'm not a professional baker and decorator, I was pretty happy with this cake, and the person I baked it for was also, and that's all I wanted, and that's okay if it's not perfect. So I'm using that same dot one, and then just where I made those beacons, I'm going down, pressing a little and then putting it down, pressing a little and then going down again. The next one, I'm using just my leaf tip. Now you get a lot of leaf tips. You've got one where it's got a really pointy side, and the other one is round, and the little angle is in the middle. That's the one I use, that I just literally went back and forth around those beacons I made, and I made a second one as well, as you can see there, that just really closed up that cake of mine with the ruffles. It really makes a perfect ruffle. Now I also have a piping tip that does the original ruffle, but that just works perfectly when I'm doing a Barbie cake or something like that, like a dress. But for some reason this just came out perfect, and I loved the way it looked. You will probably see it much better in the pictures than on this video. This is just to give you an idea to go and play with at home. Next up was I wanted a little message on top, so I just said happy birthday Masegu, and that you can do with anything. You can pipe that, I wanted to say type there, pre-pipe that on a little piece of parchment paper, because sometimes it's really hard to pipe on cakes. So what I'll do is I'll take a piece of parchment paper or baking paper, pipe out the message there and put it in the freezer, and then when you take it out, the frosting is hard and easy to lift up and place on the cake. And if you can do that with chocolate. I just went on with my frosting, and you can even use fondant and maybe cut the little lettuce out and place it on the cake. It doesn't matter. You can leave it clean if you're just using it for a home project. You can do whatever you want. That's again, it's so endless with the varieties out there. You can even print that out. Now I got some flowers that I thought would go pretty. Then I'm putting a little food safe tape around all of them, placing the big ones in the corner, and then I just decorate it with, I think it's called Jip in South Africa. So if those flowers have a specific name, which they probably do, let me know in the comments below. When I go to the flower shop, I usually just ask them for Jip because that's what I know it from. My mom and I used to decorate flowers for church, so that's where I got the name from. It's probably the perfectly wrong name, but I don't mind. For some reason I wanted these very small flowers, and I actually went, now you get them in white. What I did is I took 2 different colors of spray paint, divided my batches of flowers, and just spray painted the top parts. They don't stick right into my cake. The colored parts are outside, so there's nothing toxic about it. And yeah, of course, no one's going to eat this. You let your people know to take out the flowers. But I just decorate those rims that we did with the French nozzle all around with the different colors, dark pink, light pink, and the original white. And that was literally it. And I tell you, I got such a huge response and such a big blessing message from Masehu's mother who wanted this cake for her daughter. And yeah, I couldn't ask for anything more. It just came out perfect. And what I loved about it, I did it in calmness with time and just enjoyed the process. And that's what I want you to do when you go out and bake. It doesn't matter how big or how small your cake is, just enjoy it. You know, it's a blessing to use your hands for arts and craft and have that creativity in you. So go out and do something beautiful. Even if it isn't perfect, trust me, the person you will give it to will love it. I really hope you enjoyed this, watching this, or I hope it helped you in some way to see how to do this at home. If you need any advice, just let me know down below and I'll get back to you and I'll give you some tips of mine. But do go out and try the vintage piping heart-shaped cake. It was really fun to bake, and I thank you so much for watching this and coming to see what I'm up to all the time. See you again.